Hello class. Today we are going to learn how to do CPR on an adult, child, and infant. Everyone can use CPR, whether you have an elderly family member at home, have children, or even just to help a complete stranger. Anyone can learn CPR and everyone should. Sadly, according to the American Heart Association, 70% of Americans feel helpless to act during CPR because they do not know how to administer it or their training has simply lapsed. This is an alarming statistic, and unfortunately it is especially alarming because according to the Red Cross, 88% of cardiac arrests happen at home. So the life you save more than likely will be that of your very own family member. Why should I take action? Failure to act can lead to unnecessary death. Effective, immediate CPR can triple the victim's chance for survival according to the AHA. Sadly, less than 8% of people who suffer a cardiac arrest outside of the hospital survive. To gain a better understanding of CPR, let's take a brief look at the history. It was in 1903 that Dr. George Cryle reported the first successful use of external chest compressions in a human. This has led to many advancements to what we now have today as the modern CPR model. So with this information, let's get started on how to effectively perform CPR on an adult first. We're going to begin with your safety. To practice CPR on anyone, you must always be concerned with your own safety first. Remember, this is not your emergency, and we do not want to make two victims. Adult CPR is used for anyone over the age of 8 years old. If you see somebody suddenly collapse, check for responsiveness. If they are unresponsive, call or send someone else to call 911. If the person is not breathing, please prepare to give chest compressions. This is done by kneeling beside them, put the heel of your hand on the center of their chest, place your hand over that hand, interlacing your fingers, keeping your arm straight and pushing hard and fast. This is the key. Now you're going to want to keep going until A, the scene becomes unsafe, an AED arrives, a trained responder relieves you, or you're physically too exhausted to continue. Now that we have learned adult CPR, let's take a look at the few minor changes that are involved for child CPR. Child CPR is used for 12 months to 8 years old. If you see that a child is unresponsive and not breathing, check the scene for safety. If they are unresponsive, call or send someone to call for 911. Kneel beside the child just as in adult CPR, with the two main differences being we are going to push at a reduced depth of 1/3 to 1/2 inch as compared to an adult of 1.5 inches to 2 inches. The other main difference with child CPR is we're going to use only one hand instead of two when we do our compressions. Remember, just as an adult, push hard and fast. Again, you will not stop until the scene becomes unsafe, someone properly relieves you, or you become too exhausted to continue. Now, everyone gets nervous at the thought of doing CPR on an infant, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to effectively perform CPR in an infant once you have a few basic steps down. Infant CPR is used for anyone 12 months of age and under. If you see an infant suddenly look lifeless or not breathing, check the scene for safety. If the scene is safe, immediately check for responsiveness. For infants, airway is extremely important, so we are going to begin with giving 2 mouth-to-mouth breaths. This can be accomplished by simply covering your mouth over the infant's mouth and nose, or pinching the nose of the infant and giving mouth-to-mouth directly, as so. We're going to use a rate of 2 breaths for every 30 compressions. Now, in order to do the compressions on an infant, you are going to wrap your hands around their waist using your thumbs only and begin your compressions. You're going to do this hard and fast, just as in an adult, with a depth of 1/3 to 1/2 inch. This is going to be at a ratio of 2 breaths for every 30 compressions that you perform. Remember, again, keep going. Do not stop until properly relieved, or until you are too exhausted to continue, or the scene becomes unsafe. By following the steps we have learned here today, we can now effectively perform basic CPR on an adult, child, and infant. Everyone should now have a good understanding of how to provide quality CPR to all 3 age groups we learned about today. And if you're already trained, I hope this served as a refresher for you. During an emergency, your adrenaline is going to be rushing. You may be scared and unsure what to do, but just remember your training. Safety first. Activate the 911 system. Push hard and fast. Don't stop until someone relieves you. Lastly, it is not your emergency. Stay calm. You can only help the situation and not hurt it. In closing, remember, statistics show these early life-saving techniques will increase the chance of survival by up to 4 times. You now have the knowledge to be the difference maker in an individual's life when their life is on the line. Thank you.